Welcome back to the Ticket Setup series. In today's session, we're going to go through an overview of Microsoft Power Automate and the things that you need to be aware of prior to integrating Power Automate with Tikit. Now, Power Automate is an automation engine that lets you automate anything across the Microsoft ecosystem, anything across any third-party apps through its connector library, including Tikit. And anything external to Power Automate via API or web service, things of that nature. So in order to integrate Power Automate with Tikit, Tikit's actually already there and available. There are just a few things you need to be aware of and a few connections you need to have set up to be able to seamlessly work through that experience. So first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the connector library and the connections to that connector library. And to do that, on the menu here, we'll travel over to More, and we'll go to Discover All. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to pin two items here to our menu. We're going to pin Connections, and we're going to pin Connectors. So those will become persistent here. And the first thing we're going to go to now is the Connectors area. And in the Connectors area, you'll see that if you search for Tikit, that it is one of the many applications that are available from third parties inside of Power Automate. Now, when I click on that connector, you'll see that Tikit has three visible triggers here, which is when a comment's left on a ticket, when a ticket is created, and when a ticket is updated. And those triggers are effectively any way a ticket can be created, updated, or incepted inside of Tikit. And it has a whole slew of actions that allow for us to do things complementary to these triggers, like create a new ticket, update an existing ticket, add a comment, things of that nature. This is the connector library, but in order to connect to the connector library, we have to actually set up a connection. So we're going to go over to Connections here, and we're going to set up a connection that's going to allow for us to bring Tikit and someone who has access to Tikit to be able to create flows that work off those triggers and actions. So inside of Power Automate, you have the ability to set up connections to all sorts of applications here, well, any application in Power Automate. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to create a new connection for Tikit. I have a few already, but this is going to be for my setup series environment. And I'm going to add that here, and I'm going to create that new connection. And when I create that new connection, it's going to ask me, who do you want to use for that connection? I'm actually going to use my Diego S account here. It's going to ask me for the password. Let me go ahead and grab that password here. I'll sign in. And that will establish the connection to that library and allow for me to use Power Automate and the Flow Designer to build flows off of that particular connection. Now that you are kind of aware of the connectors that are available, specifically with Tikit, also you have established a connection, the next thing you're going to want to do is actually see how that connection works within the Flow Designer. So what we'll do here is we'll go up to My Flows and we'll create a new flow from scratch so you can see how this experience will work. I'll build an automated cloud flow. And I'll just call this example or setup series. I'm not going to do anything with it, it's just so you can see the inception and how that works. And then I'm going to search my triggers. So I'm going to search for Tikit, and I'm going to search for when a ticket is created. And I'm going to create that. And what you're going to see here is when this trigger is created, you're going to potentially, it depends on how you have Power Automate set up and how many connections you have, but when you have a trigger or an action that's trying to use that connection that we just set up, you may receive an invalid connection message here. And that's not an issue because we have a valid connection. We just need to point this flow to that connection. And you'll see here on the left-hand side, we have the ability to change the connection here. And we can choose the environment we want to point to. So my environment is this first one here. Again, I have multiples because I'm working through different environments. And once you select an appropriate connection and it authenticates and works, you'll see that message go away. And then you can use the triggers or actions as you would want to. In this example, I know this works because when I select group here, I'm going to see the groups from the setup series, set of installations that we've done, or the templates, things like that. In subsequent videos, we're going to actually continue to work through building Power Automate flows from end to end and how those interact with Tikit. But this is a really good primer to just understand some of the pieces you'll need to be aware of before you actually start that journey. Well, for now, we'll go ahead and stop this session. Appreciate you taking the time and looking forward to seeing you on the next one.